excited to chat with you today. Today's an especially special day because we are talking about business models, which quite frankly, Danielle and I talk about all the time and could talk about every single day because this is very important for the modern woman to be able to live the life that she desires, to be able to understand how to build a business that allows for her to do that. So we're going to talk about really what are business models and why we're so passionate about it. We're going to talk about the common mistakes. We're going to talk about the fact that a lot of women want a business, but a lot of people don't want to do business in the right way to be able to, again, live the life that they desire. And then we're going to talk about what is the answer? Like what after all of this, like what is the right path to go down? So this is going to be like a kind of casual back and forth where I'm going to be asking Danielle questions and she'll do the same. And if you have questions, comments that come up for you, we ask that you put them in the comments so that we can, and give you real-time feedback. Like this should be a collaborative conversation. So if you are watching the replay right now, come back and say hi to you and let's get started. Right, Danielle?
Yes, absolutely. Welcome, ladies. If you do occasionally see us looking down at our phone, we are just trying to make sure that we're trying to be responsive in real time and see who's on. But yes, we're excited for today's Set Up for Success show. So yes.
Awesome. So the first question I want to get into is, like, what are business models? If someone is watching this live or in the replay and they're like, okay, I kind of been hearing you guys talk about it, but let's go over, like, let's little debrief one more time. What is business models and why they should be thinking about this thought process before they get into building their business?
Absolutely. Business models is the way a business is set up to generate income and generate profit. So it is their strategy of how they're going to package, price, position, promote, and profit in their business. So that essentially basically what a business model is. There are many different types of business models. There are product-based business models, service-based business models. So product-based, you're selling a tangible, usually a physical commodity or good. Sometimes that could be digital. And then a service-based, when you're exchanging expertise, a result in exchange for money. So there's also, like we like to talk about, low-ticket business models and high-ticket business models. Low-ticket is when you've decided that you're going to generate profits selling things that are inexpensive, and you're going to sell volume, you're going to sell quantity, you're going to, and then there are high ticket business models where you say, I'm not going after quantity, I'm going after quality, and I'm going to price higher, so I need fewer. So you're thinking of Lamborghinis, Tiffany's, or just high ticket, like houses is a high ticket, purchase where the investment is high or higher and you sell fewer of it. And so those are just some of the different business models that we a lot like to talk about. Those are particularly product versus service, low ticket versus high ticket. And we talk about it for a good reason, right, Tanya? So this is something we are talking about a lot. This is one thing that we feel like there are many things to have a business set up for success. There are a lot of different factors. Absolutely. We talked about branding and knowing ideal clients and knowing how to sell, know how to be visible, knowing how to market. Yes, those are all factors, but at the core of it, before you can do those really well, you've got to have a business and a business model that makes sense. Because if not, you're just either increasing or decreasing how much of that other stuff you have to do. Branding, marketing, ideal clients, selling. Those factors have been on the foundation. That's why most business, when they get started, they establish a business model. Right, Tanya? So, right? And so what do you think about that, right?
I think that's really good. And I was going to ask you a follow-up question, actually, but you might have answered it. So when we're thinking about, okay, so if I'm watching this, right, and I either have a product-based business or a service-based business, I think the question becomes, how does she decide whether or not she switches her business model? So I think we want to speak to the women who are probably in here, and they're like, because if you're in here, you're interested, right? That's the assumption. And so if you're in here and you're watching and you maybe have a product-based business, how do we get her to determine whether or not she should switch over?
Right. Well, again, so we always talk about working your numbers, and it's also making an assessment of your resources. So again, one thing we'll always say is there's many different ways to make money, especially online. And so we'll never say that one way is absolute, because there are people crushing it, making millions of dollars selling t-shirts. There are people who are struggling who, might sell high ticket stuff. Like, there are pros and cons to every business model. That's really what we said, because you've got to be, because all of them depend on different factors of resources is really what it comes down: time, money, energy, awareness, advertising, marketing, sales, right? And so when a lot of women don't understand business models, and again, Tanya, we've done the research, 46% of entrepreneurs have never taken a business class. So 50% of people almost who are starting a business are just, I want to start a business. I know nothing. I'm taking no background. And then those who have, and I always tell you, right, I joke because I have a degree, I thought, over here in marketing and business. And unfortunately, I don't really remember business models. I'm like, wait a second. I don't know. Wait. Okay. So I'm like, depending on your background, I know, Tanya, we were talking, you kind of did understand coming from a prestige branding, with your last job, and understanding prestige and making already,
But I want to tell you, right? we have to like debrief this little section real quick. So Danielle and I, as you guys know, obviously we're running this business together. We talk a lot. So we had a conversation about this offline, and I will tell you, it was like a moment of like, do we agree in this? And I have to tell you, Danielle, I started a jewelry business that I never talk about, because I'm like, I love jewelry. So I could easily make a lot of money selling jewelry, and I was selling rings $15 a pop, so having the awareness is one thing.
I like office supplies. I think I'll just start an office supply business. You know what I mean? That seems reasonable, right? I love it so much. So this is the typical entrepreneurial journey. Well, it's not that it's not adorable. It's like your jewelry was probably awesome. It was that you didn't understand the resources to sell low ticket or to sell quantity of something. So it's like, oh, it's cute, until you have to realize you have to sell 1,000 of these $10 things, you know what I mean, to get to $10,000, and then you have to reinvest $5,000 back to have enough to do it again next month. And so it's going in there, not understanding business models, not picking the right business model that gets you in a situation where it makes it long and hard. And then your entrepreneurial journey is a 10-year up and down, on the side, in the front, in the back, through the woods type of situation. And Tanya and I are impressed. I have to say, we are impressed with some of the tenacity that we have seen through some of the answers that we've received in y'all coming into this group, of how long y'all were really committed to ride something that's not hitting nowhere near your income goals. And we have to say that 90% of the women that are in this group, based on the data that they share, we have a gap to get to where you say you want to be. So it comes down to, this is why we're so passionate, I guess, about business. So yeah, Tanya, the jewelry business. So you kind of took that, and then that kind of what did you learn when you started your jewelry business? How long were you doing it? When did you give up? Did you stick with it?
It wasn't even like, I realized the amount of time that I needed to spend to, first of all, build the message, build the audience. We're not even talking about customers. We're talking about the awareness, because that's what we'll get into that in a second. The resources and all of that it takes to get the one sale. Like that part, that just was something that I didn't consider. And so, I'm spending time trying to figure out, how do I bring this to market? And as all this time is passing, there's no sales coming in. And the 1 or 2 sales that I was getting from all the work that I was doing, I'm getting now a profit of $10 for the ring I sold. After spending 20 hours.
So then once you figure that out, you start. So again, it sounded like we both went through an entrepreneurial journey of trial and test, until we kind of each stepped up. When that didn't work, I moved on to a service base. But then I came across the next hurdle for me, which is, okay, now I'm in a service base because I'm not trying to sell product in quantity anymore. But then I come in and I undercharge. And then I'm in a low ticket service base, which becomes another, we could put product, I know we can make a diagram between high and low, and I'm in this quadrant at this point. Now we've switched over, but now we're still in the wrong quadrant because now we're having to do labor and back, but now it's $500. So I have to get, 20 clients a month to make $10,000. And that, sounds easy, which is one of the misconceptions is, oh, that's easy, until you realize, again, resources, effort, time, awareness, marketing, advertising, even for something at that. So, right, that's kind of that journey. Like, okay, you try it, you get into the next quadrant, and then you kind of move up and you work down, like, okay, I need to figure out the next thing, which is when we both kind of probably introduced a high ticket coaching. Now we're in service and high ticket, and now we're in a quadrant that really feels like we've struck gold, right? Is that what you would say?
Yeah, even from the perspective of like what we're offering, right? Like, great, yes, I was selling jewelry, and of course she's gonna walk off and have a beautiful ring or a necklace or whatever, but to provide transformation that can allow for someone on the back end to build a strong business, have more time for their family, have more freedom, like that alone made better sense to me. Not to mention all the resources that we're putting together to not have good profits. I think we should talk about that. Like, this is one of Danielle's favorite topics. Like, what are we not thinking about when it comes to the resources that it takes to build these businesses? And I think that, that right there, having that conversation with yourself will save you a lot of time, energy, money, and get you to your goals that much faster.
Yeah, and that's what understanding business models and making sure that you're in one that is reasonable for the resources that you have currently is so critical. Because again, if you don't, a lot of women don't take those factors in consideration. Like, and a lot of times when they do, they underestimate a lot of myths. Like, oh, well, something's cheap. It's a T-shirt. It's something for $10. It's something for $300. Women are going to want to, that'll be an easy sell. It's, I don't feel, and a lot of times I know that women don't like selling things high ticket or getting to things charged more so they don't have to sell them because they're not sure, what can I sell a value of a skill set that's worth high value and high investment. That's why we have the SOBC done for you, because we're here to fill that question so you can switch over quickly. Because when you, again, are underestimating all those resources and you then have this conception that, oh, if it's inexpensive, I'll sell a lot. And that is a misconception. Tanya and I, we have thousands of social media fans. We've been doing this for 6 years. Not only that, we've seen other women. We know the women who are selling quantity-based digital courses and low ticket, ebooks or workshops and things like these. These are women who are hitting the social media every day. You can't be hiding or not in your groove and flow because it's going to take visibility. You've got numbers to move here, and if you're not going to do that, you got to spend money in advertising. These women have a following. They know how to do all of the technical things. There's a lot of moving pieces. You know what I mean? And so people think, oh, a course is easy or doing something low ticket is, I can whip that. But they don't also understand how long that takes to put it together and get all the tech stuff. So you're really looking for a business model that's giving you the fastest path to cash first, so that you have a guaranteed way to hit high income months so that you can be secure and stable. And then you can do all the little automated low ticket things, other things, open up a t-shirt business on the side. You don't want that to be your bread and butter at the beginning and then try to, bootstrap your way up, because it will be long and hard, and that will make you, some of you are holding on long, but I don't know how long is long when, 20 years pass by, because, it gets like that.
Yeah. And I think you brought up a really good point about pricing and positioning too, because just because you say I'm going to sell a service doesn't mean that we're doing that in a way that's going to be cost effective for the longevity and the sustainability of the business, but also to be able to, again, have the financial freedom and the time freedom. What's the point of us saying that we're in business and we're only paying ourselves $10 an hour because we charge, $100 an hour for the service, but then we have to pay for the marketing, the advertising, really break down the cost it took to get that client in at the $100 an hour rate. Like the number,
right? The number, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because we talked about this, about, one of the factors people don't realize is, okay, they assume that, okay, if I have to, if I'm selling something, a service for $500, like as long as I get 10 people per month, I'll be good. Well, that's assuming that you close every 10 people that you talk to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not really true. You really got to talk to like 3 or 4 times that. So if you've got to close 10, you really got to talk to 40, 30 to 40. And that's when it becomes tricky. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't even have 1 or 2 people consistently knocking on your door. Is that overestimating, underestimating thing that's happening. Same thing when you're a product based, oh, this is makeup. Everybody will want my makeup, but you don't realize we're talking volume here. So the real essence, I think, what Ty and I are going to be talking, and this is ongoing, we're really passionate about it. We're going to make sure we tag some of you ladies down. So if you find yourself tagged, we just want to make sure you ladies are not missing this Set Up for Success show. That we'll be doing weekly at this time. But, we're going to be talking about it often because we've seen the data proves not only what we read and when we're researching, but when we look at the data of people that have come in, y'all are in the right place. I have to say, if you were like, oh, wait, I just thought I came into a Facebook group because I just came in here. No, research shows you're in the right place because, and this isn't to make anyone feel bad. This is because we are so passionate about teaching the gap on this because like we say, it kind of hurts the whole women's entrepreneurial economy when we're all undercharging in the wrong business model. The statistics show, 68% of entrepreneurial women make less than $28,000. So there's, that drags down the whole entrepreneurial thing. So we want more women to figure it out. We want you to have that bandwidth and bank peace and profits, success and sanity, so we can blaze the path for women behind us, and that the women behind us don't lose hope because they're looking at us to see, is this a viable, their need a viable, the modern woman is navigating new times, that requires more of her bandwidth and showing up in all these areas. So that's also a major consideration when you pick a business. Like, hey, does this work for the lifestyle I'm trying to build? Because when you pick one that requires a lot, that's when you get burnt out, confused, and frustrated, and you kind of, and yeah. So, right, Tanya?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And so let's talk about then the cost for not figuring it out. You just did you just wrote a nice article.
I did post an article. It's just, I say this because when one of the invisible things that Tanya and I gift the program is, and by being here, because this isn't something you just join and it's just, that's it. We're in the group, we do the weekly SOBC chats, but you start to see business differently when you kind of be in our presence of experience. We've done this a lot. We've consulted with a lot of clients. We've seen what works. Not only that, Tanya and I are very tech savvy. So not only are we strategic and we've spent a lot in coaching, but we also that's something else a lot of other people can't even answer, don't even have, the grasp of what that really looks like on time and bandwidth when you're a 1 or 2 people, 3 people staff type of situation. And you've got to see what does that cost on your back. So we talked about the cost. I did an article. Think about, it's a little, just do the math, ask yourself, how much do I want to be generating per month in income? What's that number I want to be? Is it 5,000, 10,000? What's the number? Okay, times the amount of months you've been trying to hit that. So if you've been working in your business 5 months, 3 months, 10 months, put that in there. So it's 5 months times, that's how much you want to make, $5,000, and you've been working on this business, you feel steadily for 5 months. Yeah. And then, obviously you want to minus whatever you have made, in that time, I'm going to assume you made a couple dollars. If you didn't, put that there, that's equals, what you're essentially is costing you every month, what it's already cost you. And then that amount that you would be desiring to make every month that you don't figure it out, that's what it's costing you. So it's a very invisible cost. Sometimes when we see coaching or investing in programs or it looks like an expense, really, but because you're like, oh my gosh, I have to put money out. But what you really don't realize is that what is really costing you is all the money that you're not receiving, and so every month you don't receive the money is money you haven't made. So it's actually costing you by not figuring it out. Does that make sense, Tanya?
Yeah. And that is why we, in order to, we're trying to get you to fast track you know what, like it's time to skip the line. It's time
Right.
to buy back some time, quite truthfully, because you know, the women that we've been talking to over the past, I would say 3-4 months that we've been really promoting this program and talking about this program and getting women into the program. There's been women who've been doing this for 12 years, for 5 years, for 4 years, for 3 years, even 6 months, and they still haven't even hit their income goal. Not 1 month of all these years, they haven't hit their 1 month. Like I could like literally like this is making me emotional. Like this is the time right now for you to what's going on in the world. We can't not do what we need to do to make our life different. You will not have a job.
You are so right.
Like this is not the time to wait and see. Maybe I'll do this course. Maybe I'll do that. But you need to make a decision. And it doesn't have to be this one. You need to make a decision today. Like, how am I going to do different from this point forward? What am I going to do from this point forward to make sure that I can eat, my family can eat, I can live the life that I say I deserve. I'm saying I deserve this life. I'm journaling every day about what I want to do to be successful. I have all of these goals. I have a vision board, right? You have all these things. You have so much, and you have experience, life experience. You have so much going for you. You need to make a decision. And Danielle, I'm sorry to take over, but like,
no, you did great. No, you actually, I wanted to say you're very valid for feeling emotional, because it is actually quite, we don't operate on a fear-based frequency, but what we are saying is that we need more women to really rise up, because the way things are and how we're observing it puts women at most risk. Women are the most vulnerable in this country when it comes to a recession, a meltdown, anything. Like, you don't want to wait till it's too far gone. And we've already done the research to prove that right now, women, are, especially because now they have to, divide attention again with that unpaid second shift of work of homeschooling their kids now from home, or being that person, you know what I mean? And just in trying times, and going forward, we need to, empower women really to get this number from 68% making less than $28,000 in their business to shift drastically. You know what I mean? Like,
are you seeing the effects of that?
What do we see? Only 4.2% of women-owned businesses ever make 7 figures. Only 6% of all entrepreneurs make 6 figures. So you don't want to ride false hope and ride this and just till you burn out, because that is what the numbers and the data shows is on, at stake here.
Absolutely. And we're seeing the effects of that. I mean, I've spoken to women already, my friends even, who between homeschooling and being a wife and still doing all the things and then having to run a business, this is a lot. So you don't have a choice but to choose the way that's going to work best in your favor. Like, this isn't like, maybe I should know. This is, I need to, because I have to homeschool my children. You don't even know how long, till when. You'll know. We have no idea how long this is going to last.
Right.
This could be our new normal for a long time. We could be going into the fall. Unfortunately, Danielle, I know that's something you want.
Well, I mean, I've been hibernating for 1,642 days. So this is nothing. I mean, I've gone out, but I'm just saying, working from home and being, this home base. I mean, but that's always what I've actually always envisioned. I'm like that kind of, But so it does, I'm cool. This isn't messy. See, that's another thing why women need to claim their digital real estate right now. Because when you're able to do commerce on business and you're doing it in a smart way, we're not, we're still seeing women prospering online, and we're, ready to take them. So we're living in great times when this is no better time. Ty and I would make jokes when people are always like, that make memes that say, what happened if Facebook goes down? What are you going to do for your business? Or what if the internet goes down? What if the streets go down? Okay, because right now, not a soul is driving on these streets. I'm like, ooh. The internet, Facebook didn't go down during the crisis. It's still rolling, but they keep even threatening us. What are you going to do? What are they going to do? I'm more worried for people who, aren't figuring out how to claim their digital real estate and maximize it. And just because you're online, again, there's many ways to make money, but we're so talking about business models over and over again because we want you to kind of understand and do these numbers. And we find that women don't do the numbers. They work front. They just say, oh, I want to start a business. Oh, I like selling T-shirts, or I like writing journals, or I thought of this cute recipe, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna do, and then I want to quit my job. I want to travel the world. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to homeschool my kids. I want to be on a vegan diet, and it's like, wow, you know what I mean? So you have all these requirements for life, yep. and then you realize like it's like, okay, your friends bought the couple of T-shirts and a couple earrings, and you sold a couple of office bags. My mom, you should see her office. It is so cute, little dog eating it up. I'm like, Mom, look at all of my reused product around here. This is awesome, right? Tanya, how much old product do you have in your drawers from businesses?
Well, I don't like to be reminded of it, so it's all gone.
But you were just saying, so this is why we created the SOBC program, to be this. Okay, well, you guys are saying, hey, maybe I'm charging too little, or maybe I'm selling products and it's taking a long time because I have to sell volume and I don't have a lot of Facebook fans. What is the thing? And that's why we're here with the SOBC. We're telling you right now what to be set up for success, so you could just do this, and the light bulb will probably, because it's gone off with so many of our SOBC girls. When we do this, like, wow, they're like, they'll tell you in the comments over and over again. They're like, wow, that reverse engineering thing, like, yikes. I did the numbers, or we'll do the numbers with them, and they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So the light bulb went off for me. I was charging $500. I was having 5 discovery sessions a day, and I couldn't get more. Like, I only got up to 5 clients at $2,500 a month. I was like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So you don't want to overestimate what it takes. So I even had the traffic, but then even, just don't want to underestimate. That's why you want to get in a business model where you can do it with the fewest amount of people. When you're starting up, 1,000 people take you to 5. See, that's a different business model. Now it's much doable.
Yeah, I think and we're signing off in a second. So if you guys have questions, comments, post them in the comments. But another hidden cost that we don't talk about is when you start a business, right? You're very excited. You're very motivated. You're doing everything that you can think of to make it work, right? But as time goes on, it's not working the way you expect it to work, right? Ego gets hit, and we have to protect the ego, right? And if you go 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you're too damaged to really take a step sometimes, right? To take a step back and be like, how can I pivot? How can I make this work, right? And then when we decide to make decisions, now because that didn't work, this might not work either. So now our confidence also has diminished, right? The longer you do that, the harder it's going to be to pivot and go the right way. Yeah. That's why we try to say, do it now. Make sense of your business now. So you can have the ego where it needs to be, the confidence, right? To step out. You'll be able to trust yourself when you make decisions. Your spouse will trust you when you make decisions, because you've made decisions that have worked for you and worked in the favor of the business and in the family, right? If my husband, if we were together all the times that I did all the things, do you think he would have allowed me to spend $25,000 on a coaching program? No, it's because he saw that I was doing what I was doing it well, right? So you have to also think of the people around you and the support that you're going to get as you're building this business. The more decisions you make, the longer you take to make it work, the less you'll even believe in yourself.
Right. That's such a hidden danger. You're so right. We talk about it all the time. Like, the longer you do it wrong, you're right. You second guess your decisions. And I like what Tanya said. You really do have to believe what, Tanya, in yourself.
Yes. Things. Yeah. And what you're investing in, your coach, your mentor, whatever, and the opportunity. Like, you have to understand, if this is something that this program, right, that you're considering, the first step you have to have set in your mind is you believe that you can do this, right? That you believe that you can make this work. Because what I can't do, and what Danielle, and what we're not going to do, is pat you on the back every time and say, you can do this, you can do this. Like, you have to know that. And if you're in this group and if you're watching this, then there's something in you that says, I can do that, right? But I can't hold your hand to make you believe that you can. I can encourage you. I can say, great job. I believe in you. Girl, get it, girl. I can do all those things. But deep down here, you have to believe that, right? And then you've been in this group, or if you're new to this group, then you have to do the homework and say, well, how can this work for me, right? And then you decide, okay, I believe that this can. And then the next part is that you can do the work, right? That you, in partnership with this program and this business, that the opportunity is going to work out in your favor, right? So you have to understand, because I can't convince you that this is better than what you're doing, right? If you're someone who's been trying to make this work for 10 years, whatever it is that you're doing, and it's not, I can't make you believe that this is. You have to see clearly through the facts that we're sharing with you, through the statistics that we've shared with you, through the client results that we've gotten together collectively, because we've already gotten results from this program, and separately in our own 2 businesses, right? So between the 2 of us, we have 3 businesses between this one and our others, right? Where we're seeing tangible results from women who are doing what we're teaching them to do. So that belief has to come from you, though. That one, you believe in yourself, and then this opportunity, and the fact that you can make it happen in this way.
Yep, that was a word right there. That was a word. So on that note, I mean, like I said, we love you. We want you to be here. We care, and we're passionate about this because we
cried on the live stream. Well, I almost did.
Yeah. Look, we've cried it. Well, at this point, it goes from their stages. We've been seeing this so long, so now it's like, oh my God, like there's almost like empathy now. It gets to real empathy because you're like, goodness, like this is a real legit problem. And it's like, again, women in wrong business models, not understanding business models, not doing their numbers.
That we know, like I think of women that I've spoken to over the years, and I'll go to check out their Facebook. Oh, I wonder how Sally Sue's doing. I'll go check out her page. I can't even find her business page anymore.
And it happens all the time. And let me tell you, like Tanya said about not holding anybody's hand, entrepreneurship, it's glitzy, it's glamorous, it's all of that. It is the key to a lot of things. It really is. But in that, it's a commitment, it's a drive, it's an ambition, it's a determination, it's a belief in themselves. If not, you truly might be wasting your time. And that's I'd rather truly, if I had an option, I'd either say, hey, I'm built for entrepreneurship and I'm gonna go all in and make it a way of life where I'm gonna commit it to the journey and I'm gonna stay focused and I'm gonna let one thing build onto and I'm gonna be wise about it, and make that, or just go find something that I love to do, do that and come home and just chill and not have to be divided. But to have that split energy of being like, I really want this, but I'm really not all the way in because I'm kind of comfortable here. And right now people don't take into account opportunity cost. They don't cost of what energy being divided and split energy, how that actually slows your momentum down and your decision making. And again, people that we see the best success are people who take fast action, because how you do one thing is how you do everything, and it's who you attract. So if you're somebody that we got to convince and you got to see, a chart for this, and all of this, then just know that that's what you need to be expecting when, you also welcome, when you try to run your business. Don't be shocked when people come and, make you have to convince them that something's going to work for them when they can clearly, it's for you or you're not, and you can make that. So on that note, I want to keep it on topic. This is something we'll definitely do weekly, you know what I mean? And we'll try to always, this is something, like I said, we feel passionate about, but there's other things we'll speak on that. But this is the foundation, because again, all the other things,
because if
we
she can
talk about, but if this doesn't make sense, huh?
Yeah, I said if she can figure this out, everything else falls into place. Like you can't move forward until you figure this part out.
And so people, when you figure it out, it almost feels like magic. And that's where this overnight success phenomenon happens. It's not that it was overnight. It was a moment that they figured it out. Everything changed really fast. So when they found it out, it didn't take forever to, and that's why the blow up was so big. You didn't see that journey because whatever. So it doesn't matter when the light bulb goes off. You just know that when it goes off, everything can change overnight, because it was one shift of thinking. It was one shift in approach. It was one shift that made all the work you did. It didn't go in vain. It set you up to be, maybe it was skill sets. Maybe, okay, you know how to set up a fan page real quick, real fast. So setting up a new one for a new business shouldn't be that difficult. You know what I mean? Like, it prepares you for the glow up. You know what I mean?
So true. Awesome. Ladies, if you have questions, comments, post them in the comments below. And of course, as always, if you are a replay viewer, put #replay so we can come back. And thank you for watching. And we will be back here next week. Same time, same place.
Yes.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.